Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Summer has finally come, and what a wonderful way to start off the month of July than with our Unity Vancouver Island service, a potluck, and our AGM. I'm licensed Unity teacher Judy Murakami, and it's my pleasure to welcome you. Thank you to Marie and Stella for the technical, Nico for the music, Sharon and Ken for singing, Sally for coordinating the potluck, and Meg for the coffee, and our ministers, Patricia, Thomas, and Vicky. So, our land acknowledgement, which we are grateful to live, work, and play, and create on the traditional and unceded territory of the many Indigenous peoples of Vancouver Island. Our opening prayer today. Mother, Father, God, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together as a spiritual community here in our new Nanaimo home. To sing, pray, laugh, listen, and feast. We allow our Christ nature to make sure that the choices we gather as we gather for our annual general meeting, we clear a space inside so that we may listen to our heart, and we look forward to our time of sharing so that our lights may shine within and without. Amen. We have two more songs up.
What's next? Which one is this? They just okay. I got that one. Oh, they can hear me whispering. Hey Sharon, use my mic. It's loud. And I'm not singing. We're on this one, so use mine.
Thank you, sir.
It's very loud. Careful. Very loud. Once more.
We're gonna start over. Look for new opportunities, the chance to set your mind at ease. Forget about your worries and your strife. New opportunities feel good right down to your feet. So bring new opportunities to your life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder
of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree, the grass is blowing in the breeze. When you lift your face and look at the sky and take a glance at birds flying by and maybe take a breath. New opportunities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Look for new opportunities, the kind that set your mind at ease. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean new opportunities. That's why a girl can rest at ease with all the opportunities of life. Now, when you have a problem and feel like a prickly bear, and you know that problem isn't getting you anywhere, don't let that problem take over your mind. Turn that problem around and be kind to yourself and all involved. Because with love and prayer, all problems can be solved. Have I given you a clue? New opportunities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. So just try and relax. Chillax in my backyard. Because let me tell you something, my friends. If you act like you feel sometimes, you're acting and feeling too hard. Don't spend your time looking around for more problems that can't be found. When you live life from a spirit place and go along and live life in grace, I'll tell you something true. New opportunities of life will come to you. Look for new opportunities, the kind that set your mind at ease. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean new opportunities. That's why a girl can rest at ease with all the opportunities of life. Yeah, with all new opportunities of life. Yeah, man, with all new opportunities of life. There you go. That worked out better than I thought.
It's a new hit. Instant classic.
I keep fighting voices in my head that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. taking all I have, and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. You say I am love, but I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong, when I think I am weak. You say I am held, when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, 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 I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, oh.
Yeah, Sharon.
Well, today's daily word, my open heart discovers beauty all around me. I see beauty in soaring mountains and rolling seas, in majestic forests and kaleidoscopic fields of wildflowers. I hear beauty in music, bird songs, and the laughter and conversations of people in fellowship. Searching beyond my senses, I discover a greater depth of beauty. The mundane seems a deeper beauty when my memories fill them with meaning. My dear ones become even more beautiful to me when I pause to remember our fondest experiences and the love that binds us. I move through each day with my mind and heart open. Now, even the most ordinary items, places, and circumstances become more precious and beautiful to me. And from Corinthians 3, and all of us with unveiled faces, seeing the glory of the Lord, as though reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image. And we have another song now. Who's singing that? Ken.
It's working.
Hang on a second.
Just building dramatic suspense again.
When I was a boy each week, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread. And everyone kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that there isn't any hair at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, held second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Gotcha, bud.
Thank you, Ken. Well, the power for July is understanding, the ability to know, understand, and apprehend. What better way to demonstrate this than today's topic of Ask the Minister? So, I believe the ministers are coming up here and they're sharing the mic.
I don't need this. Let me hide this tea away. Great. Hi, everybody. Oh, there's more. I've got it. I've already got the. I've gathered. I've gathered the seeds of doubt. Anything. I'll just say anything related to the building or AGM type stuff, we're not going to answer. Okay, we'll leave that for the AGM meeting. That question can be asked there. All right. How is everyone? Good. Yeah. So I'm going to invite our ministers here to introduce themselves, because maybe not everybody knows everybody, and how long they've been ministering.
Is that one of the trick
It's a trick question, yes. I'm not sure if you have to click the little button up. There you go.
Hi.
It'll take a moment.
Is it good? Okay. It'll take a moment, Thomas says.
Yeah, it should be good now.
It's warming up. Well, I'll just say it's good.
Yep.
Okay. What was the question? No, I'm kidding.
So introduce yourself. How long you been ministering? That'd be great.
My name's Vicki Vanderhorst, and I've officially ordained in 2015 and been a Unity leader since 2000. I was a member of Unity of Victoria and served as spiritual leader there for a number of years, and that's my home church, so to speak. Then in 2009, moved to the Comox Valley, where I became the minister and the spiritual leader for Comox Valley. And I also serve on the Unity Canada board, and I'm also the mentor minister for Unity of Calgary, who is without a minister at the moment. How's that?
That's good.
Hi, I'm Patricia Zogar. I'm minister here at Unity, Vancouver Island, stationed in Nanaimo, let's put it that way. I've been ministering since 2001, and I was actually trained through Centers for Spiritual Living, which you would say is the sister church of Unity. I served in Victoria, Winnipeg, Kelowna, and retired back to Nanaimo in 2013. And in 2016, I was hired at Unity.
I've got a mic. I'm special. I have a mic.
He has his own mic.
Well, I'm Thomas DeShooter, and I have been a minister all of just over a year. Yeah. But I will say that I think we are all ministers, and we've all been ministering our whole lives, whether we're conscious of it or not. But there are people that lean on us or look to us as an example at certain times in life, and that is actually the definition of ministering. So we've all been ministers, all of us here. Yeah. All right. Questions? Oh, well, let's just start with this one. I'll try not to edit them, but I might. If you saw, and this is to all. So if you saw this church expand further into a direction we haven't ever done or haven't done in a long time, what would it be?
I'll go. I had this vision shortly after the fire, actually. I said, why don't we just buy a big bus and go on the road? But yeah, more public doing things out there. Like we talk about a concert series here on Sunday afternoons is great, but why not big concerts, Victoria and Comox, and yeah, just really getting outside.
I guess one thing I would like to see is Unity centers all over Vancouver Island, because I know that the Unity message is life transforming, and people in Duncan and Ladysmith and Qualicum Beach and up on those northern ends of the island also could benefit. So even a study group of 4 or 5 people who we could support and include as part of our spiritual community.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think directionally, I don't think we need to change anything, particularly on message. I think that, I just went to Unity Village, and what I saw was the work of a couple of people that started this idea of healing themselves and built this incredible unity message they had never intended to do in the beginning. That's not what they were out to do. They were just out to heal themselves. And as a result, people were asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then from there, it grew. And as I was sitting on the grounds, I was thinking about that. Like, this was imagination that got put into hyperdrive and just kept saying yes to the next thing. And I would like to see us get our message out and be, not the best kept secret in this area, or down island or up island or mainland, wherever you want to put it. Okay. Oh, Reverend Vicky. Define heaven.
Who put that in there? Define heaven. Okay. I think heaven for me is a place, it's an inside place where I have peace of mind, where I have a loving heart, where I have the ability to express equanimity in all circumstances and be centered, to not allow outside events or circumstances to blow me around like leaves in the wind. And it's obviously not another place, it's here right now. And I think all of us are capable of creating heaven on earth right here, right now.
Thank you. Stella, I'm a little concerned that this mic is much louder than the wireless, and the streaming might have a real discrepancy in the two volumes. Just or turn that one up. Yeah, either or. Okay, this is to all. If Charles Filmore was here today and you could ask him anything, what would it be? And this is from Elsie.
Okay, I wonder whether Charles Filmore today would call himself a Christian. This is a question that comes up for us over and over again. Are we Christian? Yes. Are we Christian? No. Probably half and half of us would say. So Unity definitely was founded on Christian principles back then, but they meant for it to be relevant and useful, and they called it practical Christianity. Given the way the whole society has changed these days, I seriously question whether he and Myrtle would call themselves Christian. Yes and no. So that's an excellent thought for thinking.
Yeah, that's a really good question. That would be certainly one for me. I think the other one would be what he would be doing with his book, Atom Smashing Power, and the idea of quantum physics and the quantum field, and how much he would be loving the amount of science that has been brought into that he could dig into and even expand further. Ditto? Okay. Ooh, this is to all. Does the church use only one Bible? Well, I know we each have our own, so I'll say that it's.
It's interesting. When I first came to Unity, there were bookshelves and bookshelves full of the minister's library. And included in that were about 20 different versions of the Bible, as well as the Quran. As far as I know, nobody ever looked at any of them. I personally am not a biblical scholar. In Unity, we take a lot of courses about interpreting the Bible metaphysically rather than literally. Many Unity ministers like to talk about Bible verses. I think Unity recommends this King James.
No.
New Standard?
New International
New
Version.
International, okay.
Yeah.
Unity worldwide. But no, not only every Bible, but every book ever written probably is fodder for us.
I was forced to take Bible classes in ministerial school. It wasn't something that I chose to do. And but I love the metaphysical interpretation. So to me, my life is full of stories, ups, downs, challenges, struggles, accomplishments, achievements, joyous times, times of despair, and all of that is reflected in the stories in the Bible. So when I look or take a passage from the Bible to speak about on Sunday, it's our story. That's how I look at it.
So I have probably 3 versions I pull from, because for me, language is everything. And so the wording sometimes on the New International Version, to me, has been condensed too much to the point where it loses some of the symbolism that I think you can get from the King James Version. And then I also have the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, which is about this thick, from Charles Filmore, the full version of it. And so I can cross-reference anything between those. But the word Bible immediately says that there's really only one text that you're kind of operating from, because the Buddhists don't work from the Bible. But I know all of us lean into so many other wisdom teachings, forgetting our message and defining our message, that to say that we, on I guess on the Bible side, we work from maybe 1 or 2 versions, and then there's the rest of the world of religion and philosophy and teachings that we can pull from. Because with Unity, it all kind of works together, in my view. Would you agree?
I would just add to that when Charles Filmore came up with the name Unity, it was because he and Myrtle had read everything that was available at the time on religion at that time in the 1880s, which of course is a little limited. And what they thought is like, look at this. No matter what we read, we can see these little threads of truth that every single faith tradition holds. Kindness and generosity and forgiveness and things like that. So why don't we just take all of those and just call it unity and just focus on those?
To Reverend Patricia, the CSL Ernest Holmes archives recently moved to Unity Village. Is there any discussion of merger? That's from Joanna Drury.
Very good, Reverend Joanna. I don't know. Have you heard anything?
When I was there, all I heard a lot of excitement about was the fact that the archives were being moved, and that this was then perhaps the beginning of unifying together as a message.
We talked about since forever. About 3 years ago, they reached a reciprocal agreement where CSL and Unity could hire each other's ministers. So that was the first step. I suspect there's several years of ego overcoming to be done yet.
This is to, you're good? I'm good. Okay. This is to all. What is the church's position on 2S LGBTQ plus people and gay marriage? I can start. Well, what were we talking about? What was Pierre Trudeau's comment way back? The government has
no place in the bedrooms of the nation.
Yeah, I would say that we have no place in the bedrooms of anybody here or what they do or what they choose to do. It's not up to us. It's up to you to live your lives. So we have an open position here. There's nobody that can't come to Unity. And I would say that for myself, the very fostering for that was even before Unity. I've said this before. I believed in the Star Wars methodology, the Force and the dark side. And I choose the Force. So I've always kind of lived by the rule of, if you're not harming yourself or anybody else, what has it got to do with me? And if you're harming yourself and other people, then I might have to pay attention to that, right? I might have to take some responsibility as a citizen or a person that knows you and loves you and appreciates you. But other than that, it's open. We're open.
Unity has always been known for inclusivity, diversity, environmentalism, all that kind of woke stuff. It's almost a non-issue for us. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was, I think, possibly the first person in BC to marry a same-sex couple. They were both ministers from Washington State.
Do you want to answer? You're good? Okay. Reverend Patricia, please describe the differences between CSL and Unity's philosophies. That's from your friend.
Her again. Reverend Joanna is a CSL minister who started her training when I was in Victoria. Really, they're so close. And in my experience, having ministered in both, I find that on average, Unity people are a little closer to the Christian roots than Centers for Spiritual Living. But they're the same Christian roots. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, they're interchangeable.
That's it. That's it. That's it. We have no more questions. How about anybody out now? We can take questions from the floor.
Annie. Oh, okay. How was Centers for Spiritual Living formed?
Yeah.
Ernest Holmes was a generation behind the Filmores. He was at his heyday in the 1950s. I've forgotten what. Oh, they both studied with the same teachers from way back. Curtis Hopkins was a teacher who taught them both, and then she taught Phineas Parker Quimby taught Emma Curtis Hopkins, who taught the Filmores and Ernest Holmes and Anna Ricks Millet and pretty anybody who's ever been anybody in the New Thought movement. So Ernest Holmes would probably have possibly even taken classes with the Filmores, but no doubt would have studied the Filmores too, as well as a lot of Oriental thought and Boston Transcendentalists, Emerson, and all those people. They were all active at the same time and influencing each other. Does that answer that?
Village.
Yeah.
So does CSL have their own home base like Unity has the Village?
Yeah, they're in Golden, Colorado still. Okay. So they don't. Thank you, Joanna. They don't have a central building now, and that's the reason why.
Right.
The archives.
They've for those streaming in, they've sold the building, and that's why the archives have moved, and most of their ministers are working from home, etc. So they don't require a central location.
Religious science was the first name. Then it's often known as the science of mind. And then a lot of people changed from religious science churches because they felt center was a better name than church for people nowadays. And a lot of people used to come to them and say, "Is that Scientology?" Yeah. No, it's not. Tom.
I'll repeat it so the people streaming can hear it.
So on the Unity Vancouver Island website, it says that we are inclusive and we respect each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. What would be an example of a thought or behavior that would not be accepted at UVI?
So what would be a thought or behavior that would not be accepted at UVI? So can I drill down a little on your question? Are you talking about in the spiritual realm or just in how they act with other people or how they treat other people? Because that would be a reason to ask them to not participate actively. Right? So, sexual misconduct, physical abuse, any verbal abuse of people we would ask them to not participate. And how can we support you so that you can find a way to come to service is how I would want to approach it. Don't know if I would have the strength to do that with somebody who's maybe being angry and aggressive, but that would rule them out in my view.
A piece of dogma that for me is not acceptable, and I would love anybody who holds it, but for me, the idea of a power of evil outside ourselves, that we are naturally sinners and that there is a power of evil. Unity teaches that there is one power which can be used for good or what we call evil, and ultimately good and evil are constructs in our own minds. We make them up. So the idea of something, a good power and an evil power out of a devil and a god sort of thing is not consistent with Unity teachings.
And while we think of that, Tom, I think you bring up a good point, because even having a guest speaker come in that is teaching things that are not fundamental Unity teachings, I would not want to invite them back. If they were to come up here and teach from, as Patricia said, from dogma that does not stand with what our understanding is of the Christ consciousness and the one power, then they shouldn't be here to speak about it. Does that answer your question?
I think also
okay.
There's a difference between who we come in here as a speaker and a representative of our Unity teachings. We are very, very careful about. And anyone can walk through the doors. And if you do believe in that we are born in sin and that we spend our lives in redemption mode, you probably wouldn't want to stay. But they could. I mean, if they want to,
Right.
They could, as long as they're not, being abusive or harmful to anyone else. But so we naturally just attract, who is comfortable here and who's not.
Okay. And then Tom, you have a follow-up?
Not a follow-up to that question, but I have another question that I'd like to direct to each individual.
Okay, can we go to Dustin first? Yep. Okay, so the question is, how do we find peace in our lives, and how do we find God in our work? Well, the first thing that comes to me is they're not separate. That everything I do, so speaking for me personally, and this is I think what I would teach, is everything I do is in effort to be that peaceful, loving presence in life, whether it's personal connections or my day-to-day work, and to always be drawing on that, to be drawing, if you want to use the word source, to be drawing from source for everything I do, think, and act with people. And I miss the mark a lot, both personally and in my work life. So I don't think there's a separation. It's always striving for that Christ within me to be fully present.
Thomas once said, I never met a microphone I didn't like. Okay. I'm reminded of a quote from Ernest Holmes, actually. And what he said was, if we could dwell in the absolute, there's nothing to fix. And as human beings, we dwell in the relative, which is our experience of what's happened now. So whenever I'm unhappy or stressed, I remind myself that this is the relative. This too will pass. And ultimately, so I take a breath and remind myself my favorite affirmation, I am bigger than this, and breathe.
And Tom? Oh, sorry, Vicky. I didn't see you pass the mic. I apologize.
And to your question as well, Dustin, that this is why I think it's so important for us to take time every single day or throughout the day, even just a moment to reconnect and realign ourselves with the source, because who knows what is going to happen to us at work, at home, in our relationships, in the grocery store, right? And so I look at it as like a well that I'm filling up all the time, so that hopefully when I'm met with some circumstance that surprises me or I don't like, that I'm still drawing on the source. Like one of my favorite sayings is love always wins. And to just so the practice is important, and certainly I can do it better than I could 20 years ago, and I still have lots to learn, for sure. Thanks.
Okay, Tom.
So to many of us, each one of you are perfect strangers, and to many who are looking online, they wouldn't know you at all. So if you were to introduce yourself to a perfect stranger, and you only had one word to use, what would that word be?
Oh, he's good.
So the question is, if we were to introduce ourselves to a perfect stranger and we only had one word to introduce ourselves, what would that one word be? What mood am I in?
We can't have 4 words, only one. I would say, I am peace. That's what I would say. Okay. If they ask me who I am, I would say peace.
It started over there. It's got to come this way, one by one.
Available.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
It wasn't me.
In many ways.
Anything I say is pointless at this juncture. Well, if I channel my mother, I would say doubting, because I am named after Doubting Thomas. But here's what I'll say: is my goal is to have so much love that I have to just give it away all the time. So my one word would be, what I am pulling into myself is love. I think Matthew. So, what books do we turn to reinforce our spirituality and our everyday living? And that's for each of us.
So there's tons of New Thought authors that are great, but I have two favorite books. One is The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and the other is Who Ordered This Truckload of Dung by Adrian Brown.
Want to go to Vicky?
I've studied many, many different faith traditions, and I read the books, and I pick out what works for me, and I leave the rest. So there's no, it's very selective. and I think for me, the experience is more important than the reading. We already know, all of us already know the principles and the behaviors and the experience that we want to not only put out but to experience for ourselves. And for myself, we just forget. So, but there is one line in The Untethered Soul that I thought was great. He talks about this by Michael Singer, how not close our hearts, which is so easy to do when things aren't going our way or something like that. And so all through the first 3 chapters, like, well, how do I not close how do I keep my heart open? How do I keep my heart open? And then he says, don't close it. So I love stuff like that. It's like the Zen, sayings, they just punch, and I remember it's like, I can feel when my heart is closing. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a hard question, because I draw from many things. Music, lyrics and songs, artistry can really teach me things. I think the great artists in the world have wonderful things to say about humanity. And so I draw from that. I listen to so many podcasts and YouTube videos that I don't know there's one book in particular. I really love the book The Martian. Just say, it has nothing to do with spirituality. It has everything to do with possibility. And for me, that I love to live into possibility. But I probably lean on the Bible more than any other book that I lean on, because I think that the teachings of Jesus, if we get rid of all of the noise around it, are the truth of how to live life. And that line that he says, if you follow me, it doesn't mean follow me, it means follow the teachings, follow the ways, then your suffering will be relieved. And I don't know about you, but I don't like suffering. So I'd like to get rid of that suffering. Yeah. For each of us, what has been the highlight of our ministry?
For me, that's easy. I have managed during the course of my ministry to grow a homegrown Canadian minister. Ta-da!
I would say when I'm teaching or doing a retreat or a class, and somebody you can just feel and sense that it's like, oh, I get it. I'm more than this body, than this experience. And I know that their life is going to change after that. So that's one of my high points.
Well, there's many external goals and victories, I think, that have come my way on the path of ministry. For me, as of now, the highlight is really the internal understanding of who I am and the change in my life. If you were to go back 7 years to the person I was then and the way I thought and the way I treated people, you would not recognize the person here today. So there's a huge, huge expansion of who I am as a person internally, and how I process and how I think and how I can control my emotions in situations and try to stay in a level keel. And so for me, as of this point, I'm very new at this. The highlight has been the change in me, which then inspires me, right? Because if I can get this, and I was an idiot, right? So man, you guys you're there. It's going to be so easy for all of you, because I was a doorknob. Yeah. All right. Any last one? Any last one question from anybody? Burning desire to know something? Yes. Oh, so somebody's asking, what is the village? And what's your name? Hi, Carmen. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. Well, so Unity, do you want, you've been there more than I have.
Hi.
You can.
Hi, welcome. I'm glad you found us. So Unity, the Filmores, Myrtle and Charles Filmore, the co-founders of Unity, lived in Missouri, and Charles Filmore's previous occupation was a real estate agent. And so in the early 1900s, he started to buy some property outside of Kansas City, and then they bought more and they bought more, and now there's 1,500 acres of property. And on that, the Unity School was built. It's the home of the Daily Word, our daily inspirational booklet. It's where 24 hours of prayer continues for us, Silent Unity, our prayer service. And I was going to say one more thing about that. And there's a hotel where you can stay. The students, go there to study. And it's not that far out of Kansas City anymore. Kansas City is spread. So it's really a beautiful oasis. There's streams. It's a wildlife nature sanctuary. It's got some heritage buildings on it.
There's beautiful fountains. And just to give some history, if I can jump in, is that one of the things that we just had the 100th year anniversary of the Daily Word. So that's been printed. And the actual subscribers to the Daily Word, there are more subscribers that are not Unity than there are Unity. It goes across all faiths and traditions that people subscribe to the Daily Word. The prayer hotline is over 100 years. So before there was a phone service, they would get the letters in every day at 11 a.m. The letters would arrive. They would have a moment of pause of prayer. And then they had this team of people that would open the prayer requests, and they would start typing replies back to those people and then mailing the replies back to them for their prayer. And that's been 24/7, 7 days a week for over 100 years that they have been doing the daily prayer or the prayer hotline. Yeah.
I am one of those people who wrote letters and received them, and I still have my affirmation card.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Yeah. And of course, it's affirmative prayer, right? So when you phone to get prayer treatment, that's what they call it, a treatment. It's not praying to a God asking for help. It's praying that we already know who we are, that we are whole, we are complete, that this is already done. The best outcome will be what happens. Like it's a place of affirming what is, not trying to ask for something and like we're weak and unfortunate. It's not coming from that place of lack. So I hope that answered, that answers your question. Yeah, great. Yes. Oh, Unity Village is where the school is. Yeah, the college. Yeah. There's a couple, because there's UWSI, Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, which I went through. There's also the Urban School of Ministry, which is located in Detroit, which was much more on the ground. I mean, as the title is, Urban School of Ministry, and both of those are a path to ordination. And I have friends that have gone through both sides, as I'm sure you have as well, right? We have friends that have gone through the urban school or have gone through UWSI.
And we were fortunate when we were in Unity Village, Thomas and I, just a couple of weeks ago, to go attend the ordination and graduation ceremonies. And so how many ministers were ordained?
There were 60 ministers, and might have been 60 to 80 ministers and LUTs that were blessed and welcomed, and they were from Africa as well, right?
Yes,
Nigeria.
many from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were online, and they were, we got to see them online, and they were accepting their ordination. Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic. Mm-hmm. Well, the year that I was ordained, I was the only Canadian. Yeah. Yeah. What are we grateful for today is the next question.
I am so grateful to see Cindy. Cindy, stand up.
Yay, Cindy! Woo!
Cindy's been doing the executive kind of work for us for 12 years or so. And it's since COVID has been working from home, but she's still very, very much a precious part of it. And to see Nico back.
Yes.
And to see this room getting close to the number I'd like to see every week.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
And to have our vocals back, our vocalists back, like all today is a great, yeah, they're going to, yeah. We're going to make them sing. You will sing and you will like it.
I think what I'm grateful for is that us being in this place at this time is an outworking of divine order. This whole community, Unity Vancouver Island, has been through lots of ups and downs over the last 3 or 4 years. And to just be willing and courageously step into the next rendition of what this looks like, excuse me, and being open and willing to explore lots of possibilities. And I know, Cindy, I'm so happy to see you as well, because she's like the woman behind the scenes. Like every time I need something, it's like, just ask Cindy and she tells me. So
Yeah, it's grateful. Wow. That is such a big question. I have so much to be grateful for today. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for our audio video team that handles my panic as I run around here trying to do too many things and makes all of this work. And sometimes it doesn't work, but nobody loses their mind and they keep coming back to try again. Like, hey, one day we're going to perfect this thing, and then we can stop. When we perfect it, then we're never doing audio video again. That's it. It's over. So I'm grateful for that. On a personal note, I'm super grateful that today is the 18th birthday of my twin daughters. Yes, I know. And sort of a larger responsibility for my daughters, it is also my mother-in-law's 80th birthday today, as we gave her a birthday gift of having twins on her birthday. And so we'll be celebrating that a little later today, and I'm super grateful for that, and I'm super grateful to be here as always. Yeah, that's it. I'm getting the word that this is how she does it. She does it very quietly. I think we need to wrap it up. It's my mentor, everybody, and my other mentor. Yes, that's another thing I'm grateful for. Look at what I have been able to be served by to figure out how to be a minister. Like, look at the examples I have sitting beside me. It's just like, it's amazing. It is. All right, thank you, everyone. We will be finishing up, and then we'll have some food and some AGM. Most important part of today, the most exciting part today, is the AGM. I know you guys cannot wait for that slideshow and papers to go through. You're going to love it.
One more time. I've missed this kid.
We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hand of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace. You are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace.
So let us take this time to give ourselves a gift of quiet meditation. Allow yourself time to settle in your chair and let your shoulders drop. Take a deep breath in and relax, knowing you deserve this time of peace and tranquility. Breathe out any tension and let go of any worries or concerns. You are a spiritual being living in a human body. Just breathe. Take this time to go into the silence and be at one with the divine. I am blessed with a mind that can think and pray. I am blessed with a heart that can feel passion and gratitude. I am blessed with a spirit that joins in oneness with the world. I am being led to my highest good as I follow my own unique path. All things work together to bless me, and I am in the flow of divine love, prosperity, and abundant health. As we prepare to come back to this time and place, we stretch our muscles, grateful for their abilities to move. We open our eyes, and we're grateful to be able to see such a beautiful world. We are grateful for this time together, and we know that we are truly blessed and a blessing to ourselves, our family, our community, and to Unity Vancouver Island. And so it is. Amen.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Bring your higher consciousness, of forgiveness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Thank you, Ken. So right after our potluck, we're going to have our annual general meeting. It's going to be at 2:30. And for those of you on Zoom, you've got the information. How many of you have your Daniel Namod tickets? Not that many.
Not enough.
They're just $25, and it's going to be an incredible evening here as well as Victoria. Special events planning meeting, they are going to be postponed till July 14th, which is next Sunday at 2 o'clock. Anything else? And I guess that's Brecon United. If you would like to go to a picnic on Blanc, it's going to be on next Saturday, 5 to 9. Tickets are $60. Anything else? So in Victoria, their service is going to be the third Sunday. So on the 21st, Vicki Vanderhorst will be speaking. They're having a prayer circle Monday, which is tomorrow at 11 a.m. in First Met Room 119. What else? That's the Daniel Namod, all the way from California. Anything else? Pardon me? Oh, sign-up sheets for carpooling. And yes, our abundance. So thank you for your presence here. Not only your presence, but your time, talent, treasure. And you can there is a square, I believe, back there for donations. You can also e-transfer, which is very easy. That way nobody pays any fees. And you can also send in checks by mail, snail mail. Anything else? And children's blessings. We had children. I don't think they're here anymore.
Yes, yeah, we'll bring them in.
Oh, we're going to bring them in? Good. Sharon, do you have children here? Sure.
While we're waiting for the children, I just thought one of the things I'm so grateful for is there are so many people here who drove up from Victoria and people here who came down from Comox Valley. Yes. Thank you.
Come on up. You're special. Come on. We're going to bless you today. You get to stand up and get all our love. Thank you. So let's everyone say it together. We see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. Thank you. And our vision statement?
Hold on.
Let's-
Hold on. So hold on. It's not often that we get to celebrate youth or teens or children here at Unity. So Brooke, you're getting it today. Sorry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brooke. Happy birthday to you.
I love that everyone just went down to a harmony line.
So let's say our vision statement together. Unity Vancouver Island is a growing, unfolding, expanding center of light and love, mighty to attract its good and radiate good to others. Our prayer for protection, the light that is God surrounds us. We are one with the light. The love that is God enfolds us. We are one with the love. The power that is God protects us. We are one with the power. The presence that is God watches over us. We are one with the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. Amen. And our peace.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With love as our center, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in
I'm happy to be alive.